and welcome back to Turnover Ranch. We're so glad you joined us for today's video. If you're new here, thanks for popping in. We'd love it if you stuck around for a while. It's been a while since we did an introduction video, so maybe we'll do one soon. But for now, for all of our faithful followers, thanks for being here. This video is a second video from the one that we posted just previous to this. Over 4th of July, that would normally have been our posting period on Thursday the 4th, but we took a little bit of a break with friends and family around to help us do projects around the barn. We took a break from media and now we're back to posting here every other Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This video is a little bit of a replay from our previous video. It's going to overlap a little bit and show you what we were working on. This is the old water tank that Cody had pulled out. So for all those who like the details, this video is for you. I'm going to talk in detail a bit about our water situation, our well situation. Many of you know that we've had well problems, and when we moved into this barn and built our apartment, we were without any running water for 5 weeks. So we're really grateful we did have electricity, but we had no running water. So for the animals, for showers, for dishes, for laundry, we had to travel like an hour plus or minus to friends' places to have access to that. And we would go about once a week, and occasionally we got the treat to go twice a week. But this is a little bit of a peek into our life here in the first couple of weeks as we moved into the rock barn and started Turnover Ranch. So just for a little bit of the details, for all of you detail lovers, when we bought the property, we understood that it was hard to find water on the property. We did have a well person come out and drill around before we bought the property. Our contract was contingent on that. We did find water, and so we tapped in and drilled a well there. We closed on the property, and even though it was low producing, with some water experts, we were told with a holding tank and even drilling a second or third well, we would be able to supply a family with water and even some animals. So that was our plan. The water wasn't the best, but we did take it to a water treatment place, and they were able to sell us some different filtering equipment and told us that it would be drinkable. By the time we drilled 3 wells and got a holding tank in place, got everything piped into the house, and a lot of equipment, a lot of very expensive equipment to filter it all. It was salt water and it was very dirty water. It just tasted really salty. I'm not just talking about a little bit of salt, like the ocean. If you wash your hands in it, if you try to take a shower in it, you would feel sticky afterwards. If I washed dishes in it, I had some kitchen knives rust. This was extremely salty water. So here, I'm just going to let these videos play, and it will show you a little bit of our May. Again, this is part 2 of the last video. Some of our first weeks as we're putting in gravel, as we're going to brandings, as we're working on projects around the barn. But I'm just going to describe to you our whole situation about the water, as you can watch and just hang out and see kind of what some of our first weeks look like. But most of this time I'll just spend in detail describing to you about our water situation. So after we started trying to filter the water and realized it doesn't taste good, we contacted our water advisors, and they were thinking we needed a different filter system. We did this multiple times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, ordering special systems, and it would be like, okay, in 5 days a new system will be here. We'll hook it up and we'll get it rolling. Well, we hooked it up and got it rolling, it still tasted salty. We did this multiple times. We got bigger systems, more expensive systems, badder systems. We were told all the things about this, and it continued to taste salty. It was non-usable water. It was extremely challenging through those weeks, but there was parts of it that it was very bittersweet too. We had to live extremely simple. We ate a lot of cold sandwiches and a lot of not very healthy packaged food, but we did survive and make it through. and we went to friends' houses for, like I said, shower and laundry for the few dishes that we did make. We did buy bottled water, and we would heat that up and use that for a few dishes here or there, but the majority of our things we would haul and clean that way. Everything felt like it was held up, like packing. I couldn't clean much as I unpacked. So I was trying to, unpack my kitchen stuff. We were just living out of boxes, and it felt pretty chaotic. It ended up being 5 weeks until we found a solution. And our solution was, thanks to Red Rock and the folks there, they do sell us water. They haul it in and they dump it in our hold tank, and then that pumps into our house. That is our current situation. We do not plan to do this long term, as it is city water, but we do plan to have a new system installed soon once our roof is put on. So we do have our roof coming this summer. We have all the metal already here, and it is scheduled for the guys to come put it on here in a few weeks. Once that's put on, all the new gutters, we will be catching all the roof water and putting that into hold tanks. It will go through a filter system, and we'll be able to use it. Now jumping back, I'm kind of talking a little bit of a circle here, but jumping back to the well situation, after going through several RO systems and different things that were not working, we decided to take the water ourselves to a different lab. Maybe the lab didn't test correctly when we first took the well water in, and they told us these systems would work. So we decided to take what should have been clean water out of the RO system, what straight from the well. We took through several different locations and tested them all. What we found was our water was extremely high in a lot of different minerals, heavy metals, and especially salt. So the total dissolved solids, if you know anything about water, the TDS number was skyrocketed. It was originally about 2,000, and that was workable with a filter system. When we got it tested 4 weeks later, it was over 20-something thousand TDS. So it had skyrocketed astronomically. Most wells are kind of self-cleaning after you get them going for a couple hours or a couple days or weeks. They get cleaner as you draw water out of the earth, out of the ground. But in our case, we had tapped into an unclean aquifer. We're unsure if it was part of an old oil well, an old dump, what it was, but it was not clean and not good. The longer we pumped out of it, the worse it got. And so the cleaning systems we were quoted for originally, they worked for a 2,000 something TDS, and this was over 20,000. So these systems were not going to work. This was not an option. The wells were not okay. Actually, in Oklahoma, these wells are now not even legal to use. So the person who drilled them has to come back and fill in, just literally fill them in with dirt. The 3 wells that we just purchased and drilled are now going to get filled back in, so it can all be legal. We don't want to be doing anything sketchy around, so we're filling in all of the wells, and we're getting city water hauled in. So after 5 weeks, we were just so relieved that we could get water here. We had planned on getting a water trailer ourselves and having to go to the town and haul water every week ourselves. Thankfully, they do deliver it for a small fee, and we're so grateful that they do that for us. It has been such a gift and a blessing. Our children were asking to take baths in those 5 weeks, and we couldn't take a bath. The day we were able to turn on the faucet in the bathtub and see clean water come out that I could put my children in to bathe, it was such a blessing and gift. So this is, again, just kind of a small snapshot of our first 5 weeks and what we went through. It's really hard to describe all the ups and downs that we had in the midst of that. And in the midst of that, we discovered our roof was much worse off than we thought. And we had some pretty severe flooding. We had used every towel, every blanket. I was starting to use jackets and clothing for mopping up the floors because we had so much flooding. I can't tell you, there's been one thing after the next. There's been so many storms this spring, literally storms with tornadoes and such, but there's also been a lot of storms in our life. But through it all, God has been good, and He has held us, He's directed us, and we are thankful. Well, a huge thank you to everybody who's prayed for us through the season. There's been so many ups and downs. Again, it's hard to describe everything that we faced in those first few weeks of living here. We want to say thank you to both of our parents who've come out multiple times to help, and to all the friends and family members who've also helped, or those who have prayed for us. We have been held up and had peace and strength and wisdom from the Lord, and we're grateful for that through this season. Thanks for listening through this audio. I know it's not the best recording. We're just recording off an iPhone, and we don't have tons of equipment at this point, but we just want to share with you all real life happenings, the ups, the downs, the good and the bad. So we're here for it. We're here to share it with you all, and in the near future we're going to be showing some more renovations and some more animal work. Cody's been starting a bunch of colts and stuff like that. But in the midst of all this, we did have a lot of good memories. We went to Brandon, we had friends and family over, and we're really grateful for the memories that we are building. But we are gonna sign off for today and say thank you for sticking with us through all of this and hanging out with us for a little bit today. Thank you for your time. And if you're interested and you want to stick around and watch more, we do post every other Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We would love it if you subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the description, not the description box. That would be for me, but in the comment box below. But if you have any other questions about the well, etc., I know we're going to get some questions on that, like why are we not on rural water? Well, that is not an option here, and things like that. So feel free to leave your questions or comments below, and we will read them and try to get back to you as soon as possible.